Hey Comrades, so this is a new fin I'm trying. I got a couple of comments on YouTube today and I was like, I really don't want to like type it all out. Well, just to explain it in detail, it's just lots of typing. So I thought, oh, maybe I should shoot a Q&A video. It's gonna be faster. Of course, it's not gonna be faster, right? Upload, make some thumbnail, whatever. But I'm also was thinking, once I set up Patreon, maybe part of Patreon thing later is gonna be like Q&A thing, or just chit chat with members, or yeah, just have a beer and whatever. Maybe put that video, those type of videos on YouTube later. Anyway, so let's answer some questions here. And again, this is just my take, different preferences, different opinions, and so on. So this is from John Lawrence. Okay. Amazing watching together. My question is, why not use rooftop tent with ladder? That's in response to video where I did the mock-up in 3D of the truck, and then later after there was a video of the build-up at Big Country Customs of the whole roof setup, the new one after Baja collapse. So why not use rooftop tent with a ladder? On another video you're painting wood in the truck and to stop mold, etc. The tent would get more air circulation. I know you must have considered this. With such an amazing build, why not utilize this inside of a truck to store all of your gear except gas tanks, spare and max tracks? Looks like top heaviness may impede. Does look good regardless. Alright, so I'll start with all this truck build stuff. Wasn't intended. It just over time it just kind of happened. I wasn't planning any of this Overland. Well, I was planning on doing trips and stuff. I got the truck to tow like an RV trailer, and I thought I would be doing like campgrounds and that kind of thing, and it just kind of one thing led after another, and it took this whole off-road Overland detour build. So none of it was planned, and I didn't know anything about any of these things at that time. Had I known back then what I know now, probably would have made different choices. Probably would have gotten 2500, probably power wagon altogether. Not for the load capacity because it's spring, not leaf system. Power wagon compared to my truck, probably a couple of 100 pounds more can do weight on the truck bed. That's about it. But as far as like being bouncy and stuff, but of course because it's heavy duty, there would be less stress on everything with that weight, whereas I'm stressing out my 1500. So at this point, with this new weight this year, I have to be a little bit gentler on what I do with it. This is just regarding the weight impeding. So I got a ferret scratching in there. Hold on. All right, I had to grab this guy because he was making too much noise. Hopefully he'll come down a little bit. But yeah, so my new weight, I'm still getting used to it. I'm pretty much something like almost 8,000 pounds, something like that. So as far as off-road, I'm still not sure how much like side tilt incline I can do, because I am a little bit top heavy, but not as much as you think, because I do have lots of gear, heavy gear, like the whole wooden platform is heavy on the bottom, plus I have land anchor in there, all my tools, nuts, bolts, torque wrench, like heavy stuff is on the bottom. On the roof I don't keep anything heavy other than, well, for this trip right now for Mexico, empty rubber, empty spare tire, no rim. For Arctic Circle next year I'll have a rim inside that tire as well. It's not going to be that much of a difference. So the steel frame, end frame, and the roof rack is of course very heavy. It's about, let's see, something like 300 kilos altogether. But that's just to ensure that my roof is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. The question, oh yeah, so I am bouncy now, but airbags help. Without airbags, yeah, this build would be completely messed up. I do have to deflate airbags for a little bit of more articulation, softer ride off-road, all that kind of stuff. What I'm still determining this year is, well, since the build, is how much sideway, like I said, tilt I can do. I kind of want to, there's few places I wanted to experiment, but at the same time I was like, yeah, I'm not sure, you know, unless I absolutely have to go really sideways off camber, unless I really am facing that situation where it's like I feel like it may not be safe, but I have no other choice, then maybe I'll try one day. But I'm still determining what my side slope is. I just don't know. So yeah, there's definitely that impeding the weight. And let's see what else here. Oh yeah, rooftop tent. So, and that I think answers, there is another guy actually here, JCF. Oh no, that would be different question. Oh yeah, another guy, JC, asked how much, part of his question, how much weight did you have on your roof rack when it collapsed? When I had two racks before, did your canopy break or just the roof rack or both? Canopy itself didn't break, didn't crack, nothing. It's just towers will hold the crossbars. Eventually all of them gave in. There was one problem before the trip that was fixed. Then there was a problem on the trip, kind of fixed that, and eventually with one tower only, and then eventually the whole thing went down on just on board wash. It's going to be in the videos, probably going to be 6 videos into Baja Overland Adventure 2017, that series I'm doing right now. So back to John Lawrence. Come on, where are you, where are you, where are you? Oops, wrong reply. Yo, what's up, Com? So, rooftop tent versus canopy versus pop-up camper. I did consider, once I realized this is going kind of off-roady build and I don't want to tow anything behind me. I don't want these things to slow me down. I don't want to return for them if it's like drive-through trails or whatever. I just want, and parking in the city or whatever you are, Walmarts. I just didn't want to deal with towing anything, period. And I'll never want to do that unless I have a heavier duty truck and maybe live full time in RV or something. No plans for that yet. So ladder and tent, I did consider it. I looked into those, all kinds of brands, Alucab, James Baroud. So I was thinking if I ever to get hard shell, at that time hard shell rooftop tent, it would have been like something like James Baroud, because they have like ventilation hole, it's very nice quality, lots of space, some models, but super expensive as well. Anything hard shell tent is expensive, but also least amount of deploy time. And then the other tents, it's like, well, you gotta deal with drying stuff. I live in Vancouver, rains all the time, so camping out, it means you have to fold, and usually, let's say in the rain, you fold everything in, then you have to come back, and if you don't have your own garage where you can fit this giant tall truck, means it's outside, so how are you gonna dry your tent? Because you have to, otherwise you're gonna have mold issues and all that kind of stuff that well, generally you would get in anything that is not ventilated properly and not used for a while in a cold wet season. So that's an issue, plus deploy time. With Canopy, it's just like I arrive, I open tailgate, and that's it. Like, I don't really have to, like, maybe a few things, rearrange few little things, but generally that's it. I can camp, whatever, my bed is there, my fridge is here, I have my spices, I have my hookup for like watching movies, whatever, I have my little kitchen heater, all my pockets, fins, knife, fire extinguisher. It's like a tiny little tree house kind of thing. That's how I actually call it sometimes with talking to people. It's my little tree house that I never had in childhood. It lacks, of course, in comfort compared to pop-up camper. Like sometimes I envy those guys, but at the same time, I've been to lots of pop-up campers at this point, researching But if I got one and they don't depreciate much, so good luck finding used. So may as well get new one, and new one with all the, like if you're getting one, you may as well dual USB ports, you know, the whole thing. And in Canadian it turned out to be four-wheel campers, because anything else is just gonna fall apart from constant bumps. Anything else that is like mainstream Palomino and so on. There's good brands like what do you call it? Couple of I haven't done this research in a while. It's been a while ago, so I forgot the names. There's a couple of more brands that are nice, and of course you get XP campers. Those are nice, carbon fiber, all that, but ridiculous price, like absolutely ridiculous. So I couldn't even possibly consider that. So then I kind of, hey, I already have Canopy. Well, let's do this thing inside, and just put like roof rack and stuff, store stuff on top, bulky but light stuff, and would cost me way less money. Even with roof fabrication, this custom fabrication and the skeleton, all that, it's still half price of whatever pop-up camper I would have gotten. And plus I didn't want to invest also as much money at that time. I wasn't sure if this is my truck, if I'm gonna keep it, yeah, the whole money thing. So with rooftop tent, well, you have to deploy. It's a tent. Like, it still requires time. When you're inside, you still have to deal with condensation issues. Like my buddy has rooftop tent. Like I talked to people, I've seen videos. In Baja I cruised with guys in a rooftop tent. You know, you still get your condensation. Just like in a truck, if you have heater, not heater, just breathing, you have to deal with wet mattress in the morning sometimes, or on the bottom, depends how you insulated it. There's all those issues still, except there's no comfort. Like you don't have all the things like in the mini apartment handy all around you. You could, but now you have to load all this stuff from your truck bed, whatever. It's deploy time. For me, over time I realized deploy time is absolute key for me to make trips enjoyable, especially big trips, even camping trips. Like I don't want to deal with deployment all the time. I don't want to pack things from home, load, unload into storage, whatever. Everything I need is always, like for the most part, always in the truck. All my instruments, everything. I don't have anything at home. Everything's in there. The only thing that's different from my setup, like just general daily driving and camping here and there, compared to like big long trip for a month, is just extra case of clothing and just few extra items, but the rest of the setup is always there. I don't have to, like, potentially Friday after work I can just jump in the truck, not even refill with food, because in my pantry I have food worth of like 3 weeks. Water is always there. I have at least I don't know, 20-30 liters all the time, and they're sitting, so if I decide to, and also a bag of spare clothing and stuff, I can always just, boom, just on the spot take off, not even stop in store for anything. At gas station, just buy milk, just for morning coffee, and that's it. Just head somewhere, and I got food, I got everything. I don't need to just park, deploy, done. If it's cold, I'm sitting inside using my heater, it's good to go. Rooftop tents are also you know, can be heavy, and plus well, no plus, but that kind of explains it. Plus roof rack I wanted also for like all the lights and stuff. Like, it's not done. There's probably in the future going to be more lights pointing in different directions, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, did I forget to answer something else? But yeah, because wooden platform and all the gear inside, it's actually prevents the huge wobbling, being top heavy. Yeah, it definitely helps. Plus again, endoskeleton is also inside the canopy. And back to JCF. Couple of questions. I'm looking at doing some overlanding, much like you. I'm having a tough time deciding between mid-size and full-size truck. How often do you find that you can go to places you want to go because your truck is too big? Is 3500 1 ton going to be too heavy? Okay, like really, you can just go on YouTube, type in Unimog doing Moab or something like that. You will see some big, heavy rigs doing some crazy stuff where you probably wouldn't want to take your mid-sized truck to, or my truck, with our clearances. Like when you really want to go somewhere, where you really want to be somewhere, you'll find a way. That's what I found. You'll squeeze, yeah, sure, you may scrape your sides, you paint a little bit here and there, but so do small guys. Full-size truck, like there is no way after this truck I'll ever go back to something smaller. No way. Like space. Even with this space, I still feel like I don't have enough space, and space is like that's what separates people like weekend, I guess, warriors or like off-roaders that just get out to do a little bit of off-roading. They just have a tent, whatever, simple, minimalistic setup. But when you set up your car for like extended periods of like actual living for extended periods, you know, weeks on end and so on, it's quite different setups. You're no longer going to be able to do as much off-roading as trucks or jeeps that are set up specifically to do off-roading. They're lighter, they're not loaded with like tons of roof racks and fridges and all kinds of other things that you kind of want to have on one trip because you don't know what's coming up. You want to have, it's like having a little apartment with you all the time, still minimalistically to a certain degree, but that varies person to person, how much stuff people need. You know, I have one comment, someone called me like, oh, you know, why do you need, like, if big size truck is with your space, if you still lack space, then you have too much junk. Well, maybe for that person, yes, I don't know what the hell that person is doing. For me, I would like to have more stuff to take with me all the time. It's options, right? So I don't have to think about like, oh, do I take this thing to go in Mexico or that thing or this thing, because either weight issue or a space issue. And I still have extra space. I could cram things in, but at the same time I don't want to cram things in because I don't want to load, unload and do those kind of things. Just want to arrive, deploy, done, I'm camping. I'm enjoying sipping beer, cooking either inside, outside, whatever I want to do, because my setup allows, you know, I like to sit on track bed on a tailgate and, you know, cook there sometimes when it's nice weather. Heaviness, like again, 3500, 1 ton. It depends, like in order to get these trucks to be able to go places where a mid-sized truck can go, you have to upgrade. Like you have to put some lift, you have to do these things and reinforce, maybe I don't know, better track bars and lower control arms and whatever, right? It's kind of like you can still do all those kind of things in big size truck. Yeah, there's some like 95% of trails any car can go. Sure, there's 5% where it's like so narrow, some cliffy thing with tight turn, and in that moment you're thinking like, holy crap, you're looking down, you know, like I wish I had a Jeep right now, right? Like, because and especially if you don't have spotters, you're like, holy, you know, 1 foot at a time, you gotta get out of a car, you like, I don't know, deploy GoPro, something, right? Like maybe moving out a couple of feet and maybe get out just to see your tire placement, because one wrong move and you're out there and your turning radius is much greater. So, you know, making those sharp turns and cliffy sections, especially if it's like off camber as well, like you consider all those things. And yeah, sometimes I had to turn around and I'm like, you know what, this is not worth it. Not that I couldn't do it, but the risk is just too great. Or let's say I didn't want to have stress and that kind of thing. But so would be a bunch of other people in Jeeps and so on, you know, turning back or deciding not to proceed. For the most part, you can still go anywhere and do all kinds of trails, really. Even in bigger rigs than my rig, like again, those Unimogs, you can find plenty of videos out there of them doing crazy stuff. And the very crazy stuff those guys are doing are you can notice they're not set up for, those are the unimog types that are not set up for overlanding. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of like living accommodations built in, because that adds weight, and that much weight, it limits your amount of articulation, right? How much you can like slope on the side and, you know, not to flip over. You kind of, I think, just need to decide what kind of overlander you are. It's kind of like off-roading. Like off-roading is part of overlanding. Overlanding is not part of off-roading. That's my opinion. Like, and you can be hardcore off-roader, like medium or light, or just do dirt roads. And you can do same things with overlanding, except overlanding you're now living out of your vehicle. Your vehicle is probably way more expensive than off-road rig, because you have way more expensive stuff set up for it. So, and it's your living space. You're probably on some long trip, and you can't afford breakdowns, slowdowns, and that kind of stuff. So you may do a certain obstacle or something, but likely you'll change your mind, because it could potentially, like, you know, it may do some damage to your vehicle, and your trip is going to be ruined for a while. Sure, you'll get some help, this and that, maybe you'll fix it on the road, but you have to make some calls like that in overlanding, because your vehicle is your home. You can't risk it as much, and it's also pricey home. What else? Yeah, I think that kind of answers questions, I think. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do this once a month. When I come back from Mexico, I will, I don't know, maybe in the next couple of weeks set up Patreon, or later. But yeah, let's hang out, and next time I'll do this. I know you probably, sorry, forgetting names here. Jesse, where are you? Yeah, Jesse Taylor, you're like becoming this big fan. I'm pretty sure we'll chat around on some Q&A thing at some point in the future. But anyway, so that's my take on things. Don't be negative on me, that's just my take. Someone else has their opinions, but I say just go full size, because, you know, space plays a big part in overlanding. You don't want to have like a little Jeep, and not to offend Jeep guys, you know, people overland with smaller cars, but again, you have a Jeep, you put rooftop tent, you put stuff inside, you put the fridge, you sag the bottom, the back down. Even if you like put heavier springs and shocks, you still sagged, you're now top heavy as well. Now you lose your articulation. Even if it's like, let's say Rubicon, now you've limited the stuff you can do with it compared to when it's without all this overland stuff and weight and so on. So those issues just always are. It doesn't matter what vehicle size you have for overlanding. Once it's loaded, it's going to its limits. And in that regard, I think it's better to have same issues but with bigger space than same issues than with little space. Yeah, so that's my take, and I guess ciao. Hey comrades, don't forget to hit that like button and also leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you should by hitting that subscription button and also bell notification next to it, so you can actually get my video updates both in notification in your video feed, and as well you can support this channel if you like my videos through PayPal or Patreon in the links down below or just after this video.